The Galactic Empire's flagship Eternity's blade loomed over the mining colony of X-09, its obsidian hull glinting with the arrogance of a civilization that had forgotten fear. Admiral Vraxis paced the command deck, his four eyes narrowed at holographic reports. "Another tax dispute?" he scoffed, mandibles clicking in disdain. "These frontier bureaucrats waste my time with petty squabbles while their pitiful fleets rust." His officers laughed on cue, their carapaces rattling, a sound like dry bones. For 10,000 cycles, the Empire had ruled unchallenged. Why doubt eternity? A shrill alarm severed the silence. Sensor Officer Krell jerked upright, his antennae trembling as data cascaded across a screen. Unidentified vessel entering Sector Theta 7. Velocity impossible. The crew froze. On the main display, a silver dart streaked past a gas giant, its smooth, wingless design unlike any warship in the archives. No ion trail, no warp signature, just speed, raw, unapologetic, defying physics like a knife through water. Vraxis slammed a clawed fist into the console. "Run the archives. I want classifications, origins, weaknesses." Technocrats scrambled, cross-referencing millennia of conquests. No match. The ship's maneuvers were erratic yet precise, skirting asteroid fields with a grace that mocked Imperial dreadnoughts. Krell's voice wavered. "Admiral, it's altering course. Heading toward us." Panic hissed through the ranks. To flee was unthinkable. To fight an enigma? Worse. "Lock down all communications," Vraxis snarled. "If the Syndicate spies stole our tech..." A junior officer, Zara, interrupted, her voice small but sharp. "Admiral, the trajectory." She projected a star map, her claw tracing a path from the ship's origin. It emerged from the dead zone, the Sol system. The deck chilled. Sol, a graveyard world, quarantined after its star flickered into collapse. A cautionary tale of a species that dared burn its own planet. "Humans?" Vraxis hissed. They were extinct. Zara pulled up fragmented records, blurry images of primitive rockets, crumbling cities. Their last transmission was a distress signal, centuries ago. But this ship, its propulsion aligns with theoretical models from their archives. They called it an Alcubierre drive. Silence. The alien crew stared at the silver ship, now pivoting to face them, its hull shimmering with heatless light. Vraxis's throat sac pulsed crimson, a sign of rage or dread. "Arm plasma batteries. Target its engines." "Admiral," Krell whispered, "it's accelerating." The human vessel didn't bank, didn't weave. It charged, a bullet aimed at the galaxy's throat. Earth's skies were corpse gray when Dr. Amara Patel staggered into the Antarctic bunker, radiation alarms blaring. Outside, hurricanes gnawed at the shield domes. The last UN summit had dissolved into screams when Jakarta vanished beneath the waves. Now, nations hoarded scraps, warlords ruled the ashes, and the word hope tasted like a lie. But the ice beneath Amara's boots hid something older than despair. They'd found the artifact 6 months earlier, a jagged spire buried in the permafrost, its surface etched with symbols that hurt to look at. Engineers called it a tomb. Physicists called it a miracle. Amara, coughing blood into her scarf, called it a deadline. "The fusion core is unstable," she rasped, glaring at the hologram of the alien drive. "If we don't solve the field harmonics by next week, the Phoenix blows up on the launch pad." Across the globe, humanity clawed at survival. In Shanghai's drowned metro, engineers welded hull plates by flashlight. In Nairobi's refugee camps, children sorted circuit boards from rubble. A hacker collective in Reykjavik broke the artifact encryption, streaming data to 1,000 makeshift labs. "It's not a propulsion system," whispered a voice over crackling feed. "It's a map." They folded space instead of moving through it. General Zhou, his left arm a prosthetic on the Tehran riots, slammed his fist on the bunker's war table. "You're telling me this contraption needs a human brain to calibrate?" The scientists flinched. The drive required a neural interface, its feedback lethal. Volunteers had lasted minutes before their minds fried. Amara unplugged her 4. "I'm stage 4. Give me the damn headset." They strapped her into the prototype at dawn. The artifact symbols glowed as her consciousness plunged into fractal darkness. She felt the equations first, a scream of light, a star's heartbeat, then pain. Her nose bled, her fingers spasmed. Harmonic resonance, she choked. Like a chord, you're playing it wrong. In Berlin, a teen prodigy adjusted the frequency. In Mumbai, a monk meditating on equations gasped, Om Mani Padme Hum. It's a mantra, not a formula. The drive hummed, green light flooding the chamber. Amara's monitor flatlined as she laughed. 3 weeks later, the Phoenix rose on a column of silent light. No roar of engines, no smoke, just a ripple in the air, as if reality itself blinked. 10,000 colonists slept in its belly, their pods stacked with seedlings, poetry, and the charred remains of the Mona Lisa. Captain Elena Cruz, her daughter's stuffed rabbit tucked in her flight suit, opened the log. This is humanity's last broadcast. To anyone listening, we can go gently. We stole fire from gods and built an ark from the scraps. If you find this, we'd like to trade. The ship tore through the void, its wake bending starlight. Behind it, Earth's corpse dimmed. Ahead, the Empire's sensors flickered to life. Admiral Vraxis's destroyers descend on the Phoenix like raptors, their plasma cannons baiting the stars in venomous green. Primitive hull, no shields, pathetic, he sneered, watching the human ship dart into the radioactive haze of the Kesari Nebula. Crush them. I want their engines intact. His crews obeyed, smug in their certainty. What threat was a lone ship built by corpses? Captain Elena Cruz clenched her daughter's rabbit as the Phoenix shuddered under EMP static. They're hurting us, growled her pilot, Yusef, fingers flying across the NAV console. 3 destroyers, closing at 12 o'clock. The nebula's violet fog choked the view screen, sensors screaming false echoes. Elena smiled. Good. Remember Mumbai, she said. The monsoon floods? We didn't fight the water. We rode it. The Phoenix banked hard, its hull scraping an asteroid's edge. The lead destroyer followed, blind to the trap. Now! Elena barked. Yusef triggered the payload. Repurposed mining charges, rigged to pulse electromagnetic fury. The nebula ignited. Imperial screens flared black as the blast fried their circuits. One destroyer spiraled into a debris field, its engines dead. The second collided with its sister ship, their commanders too proud to yield. Hail them, Elena ordered. Her calm officer hesitated. They'll see it as weakness. Hail them. On the Eternity's blade, Vraxis recoiled as a human's face flooded his bridge, a woman with sun-weathered skin and eyes like Earth's forgotten oceans. Admiral, Elena said, holding up a child's charred doll. This was my daughter's. She died when your slavers bombed the lunar refugee camps. You didn't notice, did you? Just another primitive casualty. She leaned closer. But here's what your databases missed. Humans remember, and we share. The transmission split into 1,000 fragments. A Kenyan engineer's journal, a Tibetan monk's chant, a Moscow street artist's final mural. Imperial crews froze. Translator algorithms overwhelmed by the storm of grief and hope. A gunner on the 3rd destroyer lowered his weapon. Why do they fight like this? He muttered. No honor, no rules. Elena's voice sharpened. You think we're animals? Animals don't build arcs. You burn worlds. We carry seeds. The Phoenix pivoted, veering toward the nebula's heart. A micro-black hole, its event horizon shimmering with stolen light. Captain, Yusef warned. The gravity shear, trust the math. Elena snapped. Amar Patel's equations glowed on her console. The Imperial pursuers hesitated. They're jumping into the hole. Krell shouted. Vraxis roared. Follow. I want their wreckage. The Phoenix plunged, its hull groaning as space-time twisted. Alarms blared. Crewmates prayed. Elena gripped her chair, whispering her daughter's name. The black hole spat them out seconds later, a cosmic slingshot flinging them light years ahead. The trailing destroyer wasn't so lucky. It crumpled like foil, vanishing into the void. Back on the flagship, silence festered. Vraxis stared at the static where his fleet had been, a junior navigator, her claws trembling dared to speak. Admiral their trajectory. They're heading for the core worlds. Panic erupted. Officers argued, some demanding retreat, others vowing vengeance. Zara, the quiet analyst, stood. We underestimated their resolve, their adaptability. Her voice hardened. What if others hear this? The Syndicate, the Kaltari. They'll see the Empire's weakness. Vraxis lunged at her, then froze. The bridge doors hissed open. Armed dissenters, mechanics, medics, low-born conscripts blocked the exits, their weapons aimed at his chest. You said they were extinct. A scarred engineer spat. You said we were safe. Somewhere in the dark, the Phoenix sailed on, its wake a trail of stardust and rebellion. The Phoenix drifted above the crystalline oceans of Kaltari Prime, its hull scarred but radiant. Below, the planet's empress watched from her dying throne, her people choking on poison air, their cities crumbling under centuries of imperial strip mining. Captain Elena opened a channel, her transmission unencrypted. We don't have soldiers, she said. No weapons to sell. But we have this. She sent schematics. Earth's failed geoengineering projects, algae that thrived in acid, forests resurrected from ash. Your world can live again. So can you. The Empire's sensor scrambled, but too late. The data spread like supernova light, smuggled to rebel fleets, whispered in slave markets, etched into prison walls. On the forge world of Urshan, engineers defected, hijacking a dreadnought to shield a human envoy. Why? Their leader growled when Vraxis' assassins cornered him. Because they asked instead of ordered. Admiral Vraxis' trial lasted 9 seconds. Reformists dragged him from his chambers. His once imperious carapace cracked under the fists of those he called cattle. The new High Chancellor, a former botanist whose sister died on Eternity's blade, addressed the fractured Senate. We spent millennia fearing what we couldn't classify, but humanity they redefine. Her mandibles trembled. Stand with them or be swept aside. The Phoenix never stopped moving. It taught methane farmers to harness comet ice, gifted warp theory to poets, and left terraforming codes where warlords couldn't burn them. At every port, Elena broadcast Earth's final song, a symphony of crackling fires, monsoon rains, and children's laughter. You're wasting time, Yusef argued once, nursing a wound from a pirate skirmish. Elena adjusted the rabbit in her pocket. No, we're planting gardens. When the core worlds demanded humanity's submission, a Kaltari armada intercepted their envoys. Turn back, the Empress warned, her once sickly planet now a jeweled shield at her back. Or learn how we define war. Centuries later, the Galactic Commons convened. A mosaic of species once broken by the Empire, now flourishing. Humans walked among them, gray-haired and grinning, their roles not as rulers but gardeners. A young Kaltari diplomat presented her first bill, a monument to soul, its centerpiece the Phoenix's rusted prow. Why honor a dead world? A skeptic asked. She gestured at the hall's vaulted ceiling, where holograms of reclaimed planets shimmered. Dead. She smiled. They taught us life isn't about surviving. It's about sowing. In the shadows, an elderly Elena Cruz watched, her daughter's rabbit now clutched by a Zinti child. The first human ambassador, a biologist who'd once scavenged seeds in Jakarta's ruins, squeezed her hand. They'll forget us, he murmured. No. Elena nodded to a group of students reciting Amara Patel's equations. They'll remake us. That's how legends live. As the assembly voted to dissolve the Empire's borders, a Terran child, her genes spliced with Kaltari crystal, her laugh bright as supernova debris, raced through the halls. Watch me fly, she shouted, arms outstretched, soaring into a future stitched from stardust and stubborn hope. The Phoenix's final log played in the silence. You don't inherit the stars. You earn them, one act of defiance at a time.